Guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you doing? Where are you listening from? Where are you tuned on to the live signatures from? Whatever place it is, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode here on the Live Signatures podcast. It is a podcast which is daily, and it is about purpose, it is about productivity, it is about resilience, and we are going strong in these episodes. We started talking about the 8 pillars of raising street smart children. Let me just tell you this. If I was given an opportunity to select, should my child be book smart or should they be street smart? I will tell you without battling an eyelid, in a heartbeat, I will select for them to be street smart. I kid you not. Because I do believe that within being street smart, they can also be book smart. The problem is, being book smart doesn't necessarily allow you to be street smart. We're going to continue talking about this in this episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Obviously, we will need to do a recap here and bring you up to speed. What are the 8 pillars of raising street smart children? Pillar number 1, it is survival. I don't want to belabor this, but it is survival. Pillar number 2, it is relationships. Pillar number 3, it is purpose and potential. Pillar number 4, it is a ravenous hunger for knowledge. And pillar number 5, it is to be adept at making connections with what you know. But then pillar number 6, we started talking about this yesterday and we are not going to finish it even today. Pillar number 6 is entrepreneurship. Please go back to the episode yesterday and check it out. We strongly suggested that without entrepreneurship, we are not raising street smart children. People wrongly believe we say that entrepreneurship is for a chosen few. And I think otherwise. I believe that for as long as you have purpose, and all of us have purpose, all of us have some natural gifts and natural talents and dispositions, and sometimes even spiritual gifts and spiritual talents. And I believe that for as long as you have purpose, as long as you have value, as long as you can see a problem, as long as you have some kind of passion inside of you, let me tell you, as long as you have capacity, you can be an entrepreneur. That's what it's all about. Entrepreneurship, it's about opportunity. The word entrepreneurship has a root meaning of port. Port means, the place where ships land and so all that stuff. So opportunity. Anyway, entrepreneurship is all about looking at opportunities and using what capacity you have, harnessing those opportunities and creating value and being paid for that value that you've created. That is one person who realizes that opportunity exists in their contexts and that is connected to their strengths and it's connected to their passions. Goes without saying. And that is every human being, I believe. I'm telling you, not everyone is good at mathematics. Not everyone can solve mathematical equations. And there's a reason as why they call mathematics equations. They call them problems. Solve this problem. Yeah, problems. But all of us have the capacity to have passion for something, and they have the capacity to have strength and gifts natural, and use that strength and that gift to process a problem, solve a problem, to harness an opportunity. All of us have this capacity to be creative in one way or another. What varies with entrepreneurship is the degree. You cannot say the same thing about mathematics, which is compulsory, because if mathematics you fail, you failed. In entrepreneurship, there are degrees. You can make headway. There is nothing complicated about it. And of course, people's hunger will vary from one person to another, but we all are entrepreneurial. And if you're raising a street smart child, I tell you, you've got to teach them to be entrepreneurial. You've got to teach them entrepreneurship. You don't need to take them to entrepreneurship school. You don't need to define return on investment. You don't need to define all those commerce terminologies that we use. Basics, and I'm going to show you what these basics are. Just basics, but they all revolve around looking at your capacity and your passion and creating something that can solve a problem, or some value, something that can add value into this world. That's what it is all about, because you'd rather have that child who comes out of school with that mentality than the one who is coming out of school entitled that now that I have a degree, now that I have a diploma, give me a job. There are no jobs for such like people increasingly. They are gone, or they are going. And if not, some of these things are being taken over by AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics. I tell you, even law is being taken over by robotics. Some functions of law, some functions of medicine are being taken over by robotics. Surgeons are being replaced by robots. My friends, entrepreneurship is a way to go. We have thought that it is for business-minded people. It is for humans. It is not for business-minded people, it's for humans. Everyone, even that person who has been book smart and they have gone all the way and they become a lawyer, they have got to be entrepreneurial in opening up their farm. The doctor opening up his clinic is entrepreneurship. Even an employee in an organization, they have got to have an entrepreneurial mind if they are going to be promoted. Otherwise, let me tell you, you will stay there still without being entrepreneurial, without being book smart. You ain't going nowhere, my friend. Without being street smart, you ain't going nowhere. You're going to stay at that one level. There is nothing complicated about being an entrepreneur. In raising street smart children, entrepreneurship needs to be smack in the middle of it all. It's gotta be in their curriculums. It's got to be in there. Not, I don't know what we teach them, social sciences at a young age, social sciences. And then the time entrepreneurship is introduced is when they're in high school. What's the problem here? High school. A 6-year-old can make something with their hands and sell it to you. You're waiting until they're in high school. It should be compulsory from the get-go. When I build a school, that's what it's going to be like. Entrepreneurship, and let me tell you, it's not going to be examined. This examination where you put a theory and so on. Your examination is how much you're going to earn, period. It is up to you. I'm just going to open the door and show you can earn this, add value. Expenses, income, all that stuff. Create something, a craft, a product or a service, do it. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneurship, it needs to be in the psyche of people. The psyche. not as an appendage, some kind of body of knowledge that is added when they are adults at 20. That's when they are being taught entrepreneurship. What are we doing? Raising street smart children from the get-go, from the moment they start going to learn how to read and spell. There's got to be activities about entrepreneurship, buying and selling, adding value into this world. This is where we are going wrong in Africa. We are teaching people about the thorax of a grasshopper. Come on. What is that going to help us unless you are a Ugandan who eats grasshoppers? What is the problem with us, honestly? Thorax. I mean, we teach kids to draw a grasshopper in 2023. I am not talking about theory of entrepreneurship. Get me straight. I am talking about the practical aspect of it. I'm not talking about where we're trying to make definitions, returns on investment and reorder value and business model canvas and all that. That's for later. That's theory for later, organizing your business and a startup later. But now, we can teach them to be street smart, to identify a need in their context and solve that need and probably get paid for it. And repeat the process week in and week out. That's it. That's it. There are several things that we can do in this one, and I'm going to teach you maybe 4 of them in the next 4 episodes. As when we're teaching these kids to be entrepreneurial, what are we going to focus on? Guys, especially if you're listening to me from Africa, and the problem again is this: very few people from Africa listen to this podcast. The guys who listen to this podcast are guys in America. That's what my statistics are showing me, and I've never marketed to America. Never marketed this thing to Americans. If you're listening to me and you're in Africa, and you are a child, or you're a parent, or you're a teacher, or you're an African, this is where we need to put our heads together. We cannot continue teaching kids thorax, parts of a mango, who invented, who discovered Lake Victoria, who discovered the source of the Nile. And make it compulsory for them. We are not teaching them how to basically solve problems and get paid for them with their raw natural gifts and talents that they already have. They already possess it. They already have those things. A kid can write, a kid can sing, but you're forcing chemistry on them. You're forcing them to draw an insect, parts of an insect. You're forcing them to cram Kingdom Animalia, class, I don't know what, Panthera Leo. For what purpose? And it is 2023 and we are still doing the same thing. And then we're going and saying, oh, we need to rewrite our curriculum, make it competency-based curriculum. And we have just rearranged the chairs, a game of musical chairs. The same subjects are the same thing that are being taught in there. Nothing that harnesses their gifts and their talents. Nothing about entrepreneurship. Nothing. 2023. And I know this episode might be listened to in 2030, and it will still be the case in Africa. Well, there's something that Joshua said in the Bible. He said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Let me tell you this. As for me and my kids, we're going to learn entrepreneurship. And it starts with me as a parent. So it's over to us parents. This thing, if you're waiting for it to be taught in school, you will be waiting for a long time. Tomorrow we start going deeper into this. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.